Happy Tuesday and welcome into an emergency podcast of the PHNX Sun Devils show. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by Big Pokey himself, Shane Dieffenbach.
Hello.
Shane, we got some breaking news out of Tempe this morning.
Breaking news.
Is that like your breaking news sound?
Breaking news.
Jaden Rashada. Jaden Rashada is set to be the starting quarterback for Arizona State in week 1 against Southern Utah. Kenny Dillingham rolling with the true freshman over the likes of Drew Pyne and then Trenton Bourguet, who obviously played the back half of the season for Arizona State last year. Shane, just the initial reaction to Jaden Rashada being named the starter.
It is the best thing for the program, I think. If I'm going to be honest, look, if you want to win games this year, I think Bourguet is probably what you want to do, but you're not going to win a national championship in year 1. You can strive to, but you're not going to.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible. That being said, this kid can get you to your, Big 12 championship aspirations next year because of the pure raw potential he has. He's going to make mistakes. Some games are going to be tough to watch. And it does suck that Bourguet, isn't going to be starting, at least not week 1, because of what he has put into this program, sitting behind so many people and finally getting his chance last year.
Yeah.
However, Jaden Rashada, as I said on the show yesterday, is the more talented quarterback. He's not a better football player yet, but he's the more talented quarterback, and he's going to be a better football player in his career. Yeah,
I think the point that you make right there, that he's not the better football player yet, is big, because I think getting the opportunity to start so early in his career is what is going to elevate the process for him to eventually be that better football player, to really take his game to the next level, because from a sheer talent perspective, Jaden Rashada is the most talented quarterback on this roster. He has the biggest arm of the quarterbacks on the roster. And Kenny Dillingham has said it before, that there are times where you sit there and you watch him make a throw in practice, and he's making throws that you see people make on Sundays.
Yeah, he makes wow balls. He throws wow balls.
And
you see, you're like, wow.
And it's not even how far he can throw it, but there are times where he puts the ball in a window that is just ridiculous at times.
Yeah, I mean, it's effortless as well. So this is exciting, and a lot of people in the chat are excited. I only see positive reactions.
Yeah.
LTC playing, excited about it. Sam saying, it's the beginning of a new ASU football season when your QB1 is wearing number 5. Yeah. Not only a new football season when your QB1 is wearing number 5, but when your true freshman quarterback is wearing number 5, Jayden Daniels, and is also named Jaden. So.
Yeah, Glenn brings up an interesting point. Wonder if Rashada started creating a little more buzz for Thursday game. In fact, Dillingham giving out season ticket holders 2 extra tickets to take people to the game. Yeah, that's an interesting point. I think that is one of the things that I thought about in terms of when Jaden Rashada got the nod to be the starting quarterback, is it does create a little bit more buzz. It does get people's eyebrows raised a little bit, both in Tempe and I think on a national stage, right? Where you have people looking, we've got a true freshman starting at a Power 5 program. Like that is something, and especially when you look at the quarterbacks in this conference, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., Cam Ward, right? There are a lot of heavy hitters at quarterback. And look, Kenny's no stranger to working with some phenomenal quarterbacks. Bo Nix, Jordan Travis, right? Like, clearly Kenny sees something in Jaden Rashada to name him the starter. Again, 9 days prior to the team's first game, but also to make this decision when, in reality, you have 2 guys that have playing experience. Whether Drew Pyne is ready to go or not, like Drew Pyne played at Notre Dame the last few seasons. He's got a lot of playing experience at a high level. You look at Trenton Bourguet. He's the last quarterback to take down Michael Penix Jr. in Washington. And he did some pretty phenomenal things last year for Arizona State. So it says a whole hell of a lot, not only about Rashada, but also about Kenny Dillingham and his trust in his freshman quarterback.
Yeah, and it is assumed that they're going to reassess the situation. Obviously, either during the game if stuff goes horribly wrong, but also after the game. He's not He's starting week 1, which is huge because once you have the job, you can keep it throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
But things always happen, and there's no better time to throw out a true freshman than against a team like Southern Utah.
Yeah.
Against a team that you should win, regardless of who's starting at quarterback. It's the perfect situation. And as everybody's saying in the chat, as you mentioned, like one thing that is so exciting about Kenny Dillingham and Jaden Rashada being together is Kenny has done the project where he molds a guy like Bo Nix into a more refined version of himself. And he had time to work with Jordan Travis a bit, but now theoretically he's going to have 3 or 4 years with Jaden Rashada to make him the best player he can. And that's invaluable at the Division I level. It's invaluable in today's NCAA, and you get him to stay, you get him to love what Kenny's building here, you're going to see a hell of a lot of growth from the young 5 back there. I mean, it'd be huge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Couple comments in the chat I want to get to. Cole, yep, I trust Kenny with QBs. Ralph, just exclamation points all the way around.
Woo!
And then if we could scroll up just one, because Donald brings up another good point. What's there to lose other than let him truly develop and allow higher-ranked recruits to realize they can start? I think you touched on that a little bit, right? There's not really anything to lose because you're not going to win a national championship in year 1. You have a true freshman quarterback that I think everybody can really see the talent that he has and the potential that he has here at Arizona State. So to allow him to go get those game reps and almost continue the quarterback competition in a way. Jaden Rashada knows that if he doesn't play up to standards against Southern Utah, that this is his job to lose, right? So getting him those game reps, allowing the program to get even more hype, right? How much hype was there when Kenny was hired, or how much hype when the whole Activate the Valley thing started? This is another way, 9 days before this team really gets into the thick of the college football season, to create a little bit more hype around a program that in reality could use it.
Well, yeah, and let's talk about the crazy comparison. Can you imagine if you were watching this show when we were back in spring? You're like, hey, what? Breaking news, what? Like in the spring, you can go back and listen to our shows. We're like, okay, he's not going to start this year, but next year, like, yeah. And we did mention that like there are going to be strides taken from spring to fall camp. Like he is going to get better. He's going to get more comfortable with 1, the offense, and 2, just playing against better competition. And you don't get this, I don't think, at least, unless Drew Pyne goes down at Camp T.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I mean, that's when everyone started side-eyeing. Everyone's like, oh shit, oh boy, is he in the quarterback competition now? And he 100% was, and not just in Camp T, but the weeks after that, he just took full advantage of it. He was so patient, and that's something we mentioned so many times in spring and fall. Is he might not be getting a ton of reps, but he's learning, and if he makes a mistake, he's going up to Drew, he's going up to Trenton, he's even going up to Kenny and saying, "What did I do wrong? How can I improve?" And that just speaks volumes about it. And that's why I think people have this kid so misunderstood from the outside looking in. Like you see this gaudy number of NIL money at 2 different schools that fell through, and then he comes here and nothing's announced about what he's being paid, which he's just playing here. He doesn't have to be paid. He's just playing here. Yeah. And they think of this guy as a diva who just wanted his money and doesn't really care about the game. And that is so far from the truth. Jaden Rashada is just a kid that wants to play football and caught up in the world of NIL. And you see it firsthand when you're out at practice, and you see it in the strides he's made. And it's just insane how far he has come. And obviously the circumstances have helped, but since spring, it is insane.
No, it absolutely is insane, because I think there were times in the spring, and I'll be the first one to say, I said multiple times after the first week, 2 weeks of watching Jaden Rashada that yes, he was talented, but if at any point he was starting this season, that things have gone terribly wrong.
You did say Arizona that. That is a quote.
Word for word. That's what I said.
Have things gone terribly wrong?
No, things have not gone terribly wrong, but that is a knock on me.
No, it's not.
No, it's a knock on me not thinking that he was able to develop as fast as he did. Now, there are still some strides that he needs to take, but if I've learned anything from watching Jaden Rashada at the practices that I've seen through spring and fall, Camp T, the spring game, it's that this kid is a gamer. He wants to be the best quarterback that he possibly can be, and I think that is maybe Not to say that the other quarterbacks don't have it, but I think that is something that him and Kenny both identify with. How many times have we heard Kenny Dillingham say, I hate to lose. I hate to fucking lose, right? He hates to lose more than he wants to win, I feel like. And I think when you see the way that Jaden Rashada has progressed over time in a short amount of time, in reality, it says a lot about the type of player that he is, right? He wants to be the best possible quarterback, not only for himself, but clearly for Arizona State, right?
Well, and it also just feels like the perfect timing. Like you have a brand new coach, a complete overhaul of your coaching staff, only one remaining on your players' coaching staff, and you are ushering this new era of into the Big 12. Like it just feels like the only time and the perfect time to do this is you have a new coach who's very young, and you're going to start a true freshman, which has only been done one time at ASU, and that was with Jayden Daniels back in 2019. And you're 4 years removed from that, and the end of that didn't go well, but you also didn't like the leadership that was in charge of that young man. And oh, look, by the way, he's second in Heisman odds over at BetMGM right now. So Jayden Daniels, a good player. And Jaden Rashada can definitely get there as well. And plus, LTC brings it up. Butter Tolfson is still coming here. And I've made it as a joke a couple times, but doesn't it sound sweet that Butter can learn under junior Jaden Rashada for 1 year before he goes to the NFL draft?
That is wild.
But yeah, it's the perfect timing. And again, it sucks for Bourguet, especially if Rashada does show out and keeps this job the entire year. But it is a business, and I'm sure Bourguet understands that. And just like he has been over the last 4 years, he's ready to star in that backup role, and if it comes to that.
No, absolutely. You bring that up, right? Like I feel like this is it when it comes to the situation with Drew and Trenton. They obviously both have different unique situations. With Trenton, obviously being an Arizona kid, he quote unquote waited his turn to get here, right? And he showed up and showed out for the games that he played last season. And it felt like at the start of spring, the job was his. And then you get to fall and you see Jaden Rashada taking big strides. You see Drew Pyne stringing together some really, really strong practices. And I don't think it's a knock on Trenton. I think you ask Trenton, and in reality, he's obviously going to give you a little bit of coach speak and say, hey, this is football. I'm going to be there when he needs me to be the best teammate and quarterback possible. But at the end of the day, he's not wrong. If football is football, the best player should start in any situation. And I think Jaden Rashada, right now, he's the right guy for the job.
Yeah, well, I disagree with the best players. Because again, I still think Bourguet is the best quarterback they have that could start right now. But it's not the best decision. I think the best decision for the program moving forward. I don't think he's the best quarterback right now. Jaden Rashada is going to make mistakes. He's still in practice. We see some erratic throws, but that's part of the learning curve, and that's what he's going to learn. So, while this is definitely the right decision, I don't think that Trenton isn't starting because he's not a better quarterback than Jaden Rashada right now. I just think it's for the future. I love B's comment earlier. He said, if ASU has had any aspirations of hitting the ground running upon the arrival of the Big 12 and announcing that you are a serious football school, this is the move that you make 100%.
Yeah.
Like this is for the future. And as I said yesterday, if Rashada, or 2 days ago, or last week, I don't know when that was, if Rashada does, make some big strides by the end of this year, and he puts together some big games going into conference play next year in the Big 12, it's like, this team might be for real.
Yeah.
In year 2 of Kenny. So
I think I think this got serious at Camp T, right? You brought it up. I think Drew Pyne going down really elevated the process.
Yeah, Drew Pyne going down was the catalyst to Rashada starting, for sure.
But there was not only that, but with those extra reps, Rashada had to take advantage of them. At least for me, right? Jaden Rashada could have put together a fine Camp T, and I don't think he would have been the starting quarterback. The moment for me, and obviously he didn't get the job because of these 2 plays. Like, I'm acknowledging that now. But the plays and the fact that it was all public and people were there to watch Jaden Rashada throw a 40-yard bomb to Sean Russ, a beautiful ball. Everyone on the sideline and the crowd went crazy, only for it to get called back because of a penalty, right? It was deflating. It was what it was. Very next play, Jaden Rashada delivers a 40-yard bomb to Sean Russ again.
45.
And the crowd went fucking stupid.
Or 50.
The crowd went crazy.
Yeah.
The team went crazy. And I think at that point, it was like, oh, okay. Like, everybody on the sideline from media was like, this is for real. This is not a pipe dream anymore.
And that wasn't even like, that wasn't his first throws. Like, he led the first touchdown drive. And it wasn't this like, bomb. It was methodical. It was check down, find a guy, Jalen Conyers 15 yards, seam, like pretty dink and dunk stuff other than the Conyers pass, and they ended up scoring, and it was the best drive of the day. And then that happened, and then you're like, okay, this might be for real. Anthony in the chat saying, what do you guys think the ceiling is for Rashada? I haven't seen. I'll answer that when we get the game, because like I want to say Heisman just because of how effortless he makes the game look, but I'm not going to say that right now because it'd
be pretty.
You
wild.
know what? I'm going to say it right now. His ceiling's the Heisman. It is. He can be that good. I mean, the dude didn't luck into a 5-star grade from a lot of sources. He didn't luck into a multi-million-dollar NIL deal just because he was a fun guy. No, he's a great football player, and he has really great arm talent. He has an unbelievable deep ball. When he makes the right decisions, he throws the ball on a rope. Mm-hmm. He makes NFL throws, as Kenny has said. The ceiling is through the roof with this kid.
Not only that, but he's got a coaching staff that I think is only going to elevate his game and put him in a phenomenal position.
He's set up for success.
Exactly. Jaden Rashada is set up for success at Arizona State to potentially reach that ceiling of a Heisman. I do want to get to Donald's comment, but before I do that, I want to tell you guys a little bit about our friends over at OGs. Guys, being a PHNX listener just got a whole lot sweeter thanks to our buds at OGs brands. Right now, through August 31st, you can get 25% off 100 milligram bags of the fruits and the creams at all Arizona, the Flower Shop locations. All you have to do is go to theflowershopusa.com, place an online order, and use discount code PHNX at checkout. Then head to your nearest The Flower Shop location to pick up. That's right, the deal is exclusive to our PHNX listeners. And reminder, it's available only for online orders that are picked up in person. Discount code PHNX is active until August 31st. So go get to hashtag flavoring life, guys. OGs, the perfect scratch-made gummies for any occasion.
Yeah, you can flavor life with beer as well, and we do that with our friends over at Four Peaks. Guys, if you need some beer for the first game, we got about 9 days.
9 days.
From kickoff for ASU. You can drink some Four Peaks and watch Jaden Rashada sling that rock. Best beer in the Valley. Go get some Four Peaks wherever you get your beer in the Valley. Plus, you can go to their location in Tempe, their 8th Street pub, down there off McClintock. Go ahead and check that out. Got some great chicken tendies. Got a bunch of TVs for your viewing needs. Check out at Four Peaks Brew and at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. Plus, they hooked us up with a mini bar studio. I don't know if you've seen that for bets or for any of our other content. Check that out. But you got to be 21 years or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink it responsibly.
Yes, drink responsibly. And before we continue the conversation, guys, hit that like button. Bobby Hurley, he asks so nicely every single day.
No, he's not nice anymore.
Oh, no, he's upset. He's concerned.
No,
he's concerned.
He's mad.
He's mad. Okay.
He's upset.
Bobby Hurley's mad. Just hit the like button so Bobby maybe isn't as upset as he is in that photo. But yeah, Jaden Rashada in terms of the 2024 recruiting class here, Donald, with the comment, I think this has a nice effect on the 2024 recruiting class as well. Should really bolster this team on recruiting going forward. I don't know how much Jaden Rashada is going to impact the 2024
There's
class.
There's not a ton of kids left.
But the 2025 class and the transfer portal moving forward for Arizona State, I think this certainly impacts it. If you're a star wide receiver at a program that doesn't necessarily move the needle a whole lot this upcoming season, and you turn on the tape and you see Jaden Rashada just airing it out, 50-yard bombs to Elijah Badger and Xavier Guillory, I think you are going to want to play in this offense, right? Like, there is a lot of talent on this ASU roster, a lot that we talk about just about every single day. And I think there are guys that are going to want to play with an arm like Jaden Rashada, paired with the fact that you get to play under a coach in Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah, I can't wait. Because, remember when, I don't know if this is true or not, is just tongue in cheek. It might be true. It probably is true because Kenny doesn't lie. Remember when Kenny was like, we put our quarterbacks in bad situations. We call bad plays for them sometimes.
Yeah.
I can't wait for them to be calling good plays all the time during the games. That's going to be really fun. I have a feeling that first 2, 3, maybe the first damn play, they're going to let the dogs hunt. They're going to let that arm loose.
Yeah, they might air it out.
And they might just throw a bomb, because what would give you more excitement as a fan, but more confidence as a player than your first pass, your first, second, third pass being a bomb touchdown, just bombing over the defense. I could definitely see it happening, and that's really exciting. I'm so excited for football to start again.
Dude, we are 9 days away, and I think, like I said earlier, this elevates the excitement, I feel like. Again, I don't want to knock Trenton Bourguet at all, because he is a great dude. He's a great quarterback, and he's a great teammate. But in terms of the outside looking in, you hear that a freshman quarterback is starting, and that college football is 9 days away, and you're juiced. You're amped up. You are ready to go.
You could put anybody in that situation where Bourguet is, and it would just be more exciting, unless they were a true freshman as well. Like, it's just more exciting.
Is there and the answer could be no. Is there any specific wide receiver or pass catcher that you think specifically benefits more with an arm like Jaden Rashada starting?
I mean, all of them, but I'm thinking of burners. I'm thinking of guys like Guillory who can just beat you over the top. You know, I'm thinking of guys like even Jalen, who I'm not going to call him a burner to get his ego up, but he's a very fast tight end, and he can. You just throw it up in the vicinity. 12's coming down with the ball, like he is. So I mean, the taller guys, Troy O'Meara, just throw it in the vicinity, man. Throw it in the area code, and that dude can come down with it. It's.
You know who I'm gonna say? Who again?
Kelly, stop that.
You're not gonna see him. I don't think you'll see him anytime soon. But Jordan Tyson, when he gets back, dude.
Yeah.
Again, we talked about this yesterday. If he is able to get back to where he was or close to where he was,
a burner. Yeah,
he is an absolute speed demon. And you get a guy in the slot like Jordan Tyson, or even lined up on the perimeter.
He's a speed angel.
A speed angel?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
He seems like such a nice guy.
Yeah. I mean,
Jake Smith would also. Melquan can burn too.
Yeah.
I mean, this team burns.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see some of these pieces playing with Jaden Rashada, more so than we originally thought, because that arm is something special. You touched on it a little bit earlier.
Can you?
I don't want to acknowledge. Well, I don't want to acknowledge.
You have to.
Well, the only reason I don't want to acknowledge Kelly is because we're about to talk about Jayden Daniels, because he was the last true freshman quarterback to start for Arizona State. Those are the only two in program history. And looking at Jayden's numbers in 2019 was when he was a freshman at ASU. He completed 60.7% of his passes, threw for 2,900 yards, 8.7 yards per pass, 17 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. A pretty phenomenal season, I would say, for a true freshman quarterback.
Oh, he was awesome
at a Power 5 level.
I mean, in the first 6 games of the season, they were 5-1.
Yeah,
which is what we were predicting on the show the other day. And their only loss was to Colorado, which is so funny. But I want to talk about his first game specifically, because again, let's just talk about this first game.
Yeah.
But yes, that is very exciting. His first game, he went 15 of 24. This was against Kent State, so another kind of tune-up game. They won 30-7. He went 15 of 24 with 2 touchdowns, with a long of 77 yards. Threw a bomb in that game.
No turnovers, or at least no picks.
Zero interceptions. I don't think he fumbled.
Okay, so my question, and I bring up all of this, right? You bring up those numbers, and I bring up his numbers for the season, is do you think in year one, if Jayden was able to play the entire season, that he is able to outperform what Jayden Daniels did in that 2019 season? Again, the 17-2 is a pretty ridiculous touchdown interception ratio.
They're different quarterbacks, though. Jayden ran the ball a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, he averaged like 10 carries a game that year.
Yeah.
And I don't expect Rashada to do the same. But they also just ran the ball a lot. This team has had good running backs for a while.
Yeah.
And I think this team will run the ball a lot, but it's not like Kenny's run schemes they're not going to ram the ball down your throat. they're going to do it with finesse. They're going to do it with RPOs. They're going to put a lot of play action in there, and they're going to make the defense commit to a run. They're not going to just pound and pound and pound.
So I think doesn't feed the style.
No, I think this defense or this offense is going to be a lot different than what the offense looked like in 2019. So I think he 100% can outperform that because I think he'll have more opportunity to throw the ball. Jayden Daniels only threw the ball 300 times.
Yeah,
like that's not a lot for an entire year.
I think another interesting point to watch, specifically when you get to game one. Again, I don't know how much Jayden is going to be playing that first game if this is a team that's up 40. I imagine he would play the entire game if they're playing well and you're trying to give your starting quarterback as much experience as possible. But I am interested to see how the style of play of Kenny Dillingham and Beau Baldwin's offense impacts Jaden Rashada, because this is an offense that, yes, they are going to try and fool you, but they are also going to exhaust you from start to finish. Their goal is to outwork you and out-hustle you, not only physically, but mentally. Now, you throw in a freshman quarterback in that mix. How often is that quarterback, even though he's a part of the offense, how often is he physically and mentally exhausted early on, right? Like, I don't know. I think that is going to be an interesting thing to watch, to see the mental errors as the game goes on. But clearly, again, with Kenny naming Jayden the starting quarterback for week one, he has faith in his guy. And he believes that Jayden is the right decision to help this team win now. And I know you disagree that Trenton Bourguet is the best football player or the best quarterback right now for this team. But I don't think if you asked Kenny Dillingham straight up, hey, which quarterback is better? I don't think he tells you that he's starting Jaden Rashada for the future. Because I don't think, I'm going to be real, I don't think he makes that decision for the future. I understand it, but knowing and listening to the way Kenny acts and speaks, he wants to win as many games as possible right now. And I think he believes Jaden Rashada is going to do that. More so than Drew Pyne, more so than Trent Bourguet.
Is Jaden Rashada going to lead you to a Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, though?
6 wins?
That's what Jayden Daniels led ASU to that year. A win.
I'm so tired
in the
of the
Tony
Sun
the
Bowl.
Tiger Sun Bowl. Come on.
I think a bowl game is a hell of a win for this team this season.
Come on.
No, come on. I'm sorry. I'm tired of the Las Vegas Bowl and the Sun Bowl.
Oh, stop it.
Yes.
You won't be tired of covering the Las Vegas Bowl.
I won't be tired of this team going to a bowl game. I think that would be good.
I'd be pretty tired if it was somewhere like if they played in Wichita. I'm sorry. I hate the Midwest. I'm sorry. I would not like that. I can't wait to see him at West Virginia also, Nick M.
Oh, my goodness. No, just like the Big 12 in general, I think this is just going to do such amazing things for his confidence going forward, right? Like, you talk about the experience. You talk about his game elevating.
I'm just glad he didn't come here last year and get picked to start. It'd be like he was playing on All Madden last year and this year he's playing on like rookie with the sliders turned all the way down. Like, Kenny's just going to make this a lot easier for him. Like, so much easier than the offense was last year. And this offense is complex from the outside look. It's a lot like how the Niners run their offense. You see so much movement and so many different things. But I'm sorry. Do you think Jimmy Garoppolo is like this unbelievably smart, like, surgical pass? No, he's Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, he doesn't run this crazy offense. It looks a lot more complex than it is. And I feel like that's what the type of offense that Kenny puts these quarterbacks situationally in. Like, it's going to look a lot crazier than it is, but Jayden knows that, look, like, we might have 3 guys in motion before the play, but I know for a fact that Elijah Badger is running this drag route, and if he's not there, I have a check down somewhere else. Or I know that that Jalen's running a post, but Scat's coming out of the backfield, and I can hit him for that. It's a lot easier to run than it's going to look. And I know people want to look at this offense and be like, a true freshman is going to run what Bo Nix ran last year. There are a lot of moving parts, but he's capable of it.
And not only that, but we've seen Kenny offenses before, and as good as the quarterbacks have been, the offense pretty much runs through the ground game. Yeah. Like, the running backs and the rushing attack that Kenny Dillingham's offense have is next level. It's usually top 10 in the nation wherever he goes, regardless of their history being able to run the ball. Not to mention, the pieces that Kenny has at running back in this offense with guys like Scadaboo, DeCarlos Brooks, Javen Jacobs, Tevin White, George Hart, right? Like there are a bunch of different running backs that I think all give this offense something unique and different. And I think that is only going to help Jayden going forward. Ralph, is this the 8th consecutive season Arizona State has named whomever is wearing number 5?
Does this go back to Manny?
Yeah, Manny was 5, and then Jayden, and then now Jayden.
Jayden.
Oh, I forgot about Emory. I forgot the season with Emory. Oh, my goodness. I think it might be. Because you got what? How many seasons did you get out of Daniels? You got 1 of Emory.
You got 3 out of Jayden.
So that's 3 out of Jayden. You're going to have 5, and then Manny started, what, 3 years?
Let me check.
If that's the case, if he ended up starting 3 years, then yeah, this will be 8 seasons with Arizona State starting quarterback sporting the number 5, which is a pretty ridiculous stat just to have.
It's just silly.
It is silly. I think Ray Anderson maybe has a connection with the number 5.
I don't think he does.
No, you don't think so? He doesn't tell his head coach, hey, your quarterback has to wear number 5?
Mm-hmm. I don't think so.
No? Yeah,
I think it is 8 years.
That is pretty freaking ridiculous that is the case. How did, like, it's just wild to think, before we move on, like, where we were at months ago when the announcement came down and the news broke that Jaden Rashada was going to commit to Arizona State.
You know where I was?
Not here.
I was in Mobile, Alabama.
You were. Sean and I actually did that breaking news pod.
Mm-hmm. I was in Mobile, Alabama.
And here we are. And Jaden Rashada is the starting quarterback for Arizona State right now. Like, that is crazy to me.
It's been a whirlwind. It's been a whirlwind of the last couple weeks, couple months. But as Keck says, there's going to be some bumps in the road.
Yeah,
for sure. There's going to be some bumps.
But don't light Tempe on fire. My message to Son of a Nation would be not to light Tempe on fire, and don't come calling for Kenny's job if things go not the way you'd love them to go in year 1.
That?
I think if Jayden comes out and this team wins 4 games, like, that's okay, right?
It depends on how they win 4 games. Like, if the offense looks like shit all season and they win 4 games, I'm lighting.
No. But if you see progression, right? If it's, I would get it if this team wins 4 games and is like, oh, they lucked into 4 games.
These, I don't know. I don't know how to set a proper expectation level. I don't know.
I mean, the books did it at 4.5. There's your expectation level.
Does this change your thought on the win total now? Are you more inclined to?
I need to go to the schedule again.
I mean, they have 8 home games.
I know they have 8 home games. I think they win Southern Utah with either one of us at quarterback. The Oklahoma State game and the Fresno State game, there's certainly bigger question marks, I think. Because you're throwing a quarterback out there who doesn't have as much experience as the 2 guys that were previously in this conversation. So let's just say this is your worst case scenario. Okay. You beat Southern Utah. You lose to Oklahoma State. You lose to Fresno State. You lose to SC. Okay. You're 1-3 after a game in conference play. You beat Cal because Cal sucks. That's 2 wins, 2 of the 4.5. Colorado, I firmly believe.
You're losing to Fresno State? You're putting that?
I'm putting that as a loss.
Wow.
Worst case scenario. Worst case scenario here.
I think the worst case scenario is you lose to Southern Utah.
Well, that's your real. Worst case scenario, you lose every game. Yeah. Like, this is what I would expect the floor to be.
Okay.
With Jaden Rashada at quarterback.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah. So 2-3 after the Cal game. I think you beat Colorado at home. That's 3-3. You lose to Washington. You lose to Washington State. You lose to Utah. I think you beat UCLA. I don't think UCLA is going to be a good team.
Brother, hold the fuck on.
I don't think they're a good team.
No, stop it. You can't.
They might have a true freshman starting at quarterback.
Stop it. You can't say that ASU is going to lose to Fresno State but beat UCLA in your realistic, like, lowest scenario. That's
I
insane.
think Fresno State will be a better team.
That's insane. That is objectively crazy.
Okay.
You're objectively wrong.
If you think that's true,
dude,
then okay.
Are you serious?
We'll see what happens.
Are you kidding me?
We'll see what happens.
Do you want to make a bet on this?
No, I don't want to make a bet on this. I don't want to make a bet on this. I'm just
say you're wrong. You made a mistake. You're wrong.
I'm not saying that.
Oh my God.
I'm not saying that.
Shame him.
I'm not saying that. Wasn't
Chat,
Fresno State in the top 25 last year?
Drop a shame in the chat.
Wasn't Fresno State in the top 25 last year?
Yeah, at the end of the year. Drop a shame in the chat, but they're not that good this year. Drop a shame in the chat.
Okay.
You don't back the pack.
Shame me. No, I don't back the pack. UCLA's not even in the pack anymore.
That's disappointing.
Okay. They would lose to Oregon, and I think they'd lose the Territorial Cup game again. So that would have them at 4 wins as my floor for this team. And I think your ceiling is you obviously start 3-0. You lose to SC. You beat Cal. That's what? 4 wins. You beat Colorado. That's 5. You lose to Washington. You beat Washington State. That's 6 wins. You lose to Utah. You beat UCLA. That's 7. You lose to Oregon. You beat Arizona. What is that, 8 or 9?
Yeah. I have no problem with saying you lose to Fresno State, but saying you definitely lose to Fresno State, but you're definitely getting the win over UCLA is asinine to me.
Okay.
So you have them
8 or 9 wins at a ceiling for this team,
and their floor is 4.
Yeah.
I think their floor could be a little lower than that.
3.
Yeah.
Well, you don't win the UCLA game. You don't win the gimme game.
No.
What's their ceiling? Do you think probably 8 or 9 still?
Gimme game. Is Washington State a gimme game? Did you give that to ASU?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I just want to make sure. So Glenn said that he bumps the win total up. Chat, do you bump the win total up or down because of this? I would say it probably should go down.
You bump so it'll be at 3.5.
Well, I mean physically, like I don't actually see the number tick down. Like I'm not saying.
If it did, you're hitting the over though, right?
Oh yeah. But I just think this doesn't this just adds even more uncertainty to a team that's already crazy uncertain. So it doesn't help. I think this could end up being great, but from an outside looking in, it doesn't help the win total. But I think it will end up helping the win total. But if I'm saying where it would fluctuate, I would say it would probably go lower because a question mark just got another question mark.
But one thing that you don't factor into that, right? Or that you can't realistically factor in is the leaps that Rashada takes throughout the season.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. Trust me, I believe that he's going to take huge steps, and I believe that they're going to win a lot more games than people think they are. I'm just saying, from an outside perspective, you are adding another question mark to a team that's already.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Look, we're going to continue the conversation here on Jaden Rashada being named the starting quarterback for Arizona State. But first, want to tell you guys a little bit about Burrito Express. Don't know if you saw this past weekend, Jalen Conyers was out there, Elijah Badger, the Bourguets. Just Sun Devil Nation was out at the Tempe location supporting Burrito Express, and Burrito Express supporting Arizona State football as well, guys. They have some absolutely phenomenal burritos, whether that be for breakfast or lunch. They got something for everybody, and they've got locations all over the valley. Check them out and give them a follow on social media at Burrito EXP.
We love Burrito Express.
We do.
So damn much. It's so tasty.
Oh, God, it's so good.
And so is BetMGM.
BetMGM is tasty.
Don't lick your phone, though, because you'll get strep throat. Don't actually try to lick it. It's a tasty in theory. You never heard of that?
No.
You lick your phone, you get strep throat?
No, but I feel like you're speaking from experience.
I think I have licked my phone when I was 8.
And got strep throat?
Or in 8th grade, not 8. Did I have a touch screen when I was in 8th grade? Who knows? Guys, BetMGM. It's the best place to bet on college athletics and just anything you want.
Yeah.
You can bet on the Ravens preseason games because now they're going to start a new streak next week. Or you can bet on whatever you want. College football, take Jordan Travis to win the Heisman. You know the drill. Guys, sign up for BetMGM. Use that bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live. But for our Arizona audience, place your first bet offer and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if it loses. So, Totri, you feel so strongly that Fresno State's going to win the national championship. Or not going to win the national. Wait, did you?
What? No, I didn't say they're going to win.
Yeah, you said they're going to win the national championship.
Okay.
So you can put $1,000 back, and if that loses, you get $1,000 back in bonus bets. Check out the show notes for full details. Now listen to me talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-522-4700 Nevada. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., Kansas, Nevada, New York, or Ontario.
Or Ontario.
Keck saying Kenny will need to fire some coaches, hire some, get some more players. Year 2 will be much better. I completely disagree. This coaching staff is, I think, set. I think this is who he wants to be with.
Oh, absolutely.
They got rid of everybody from last year, except for Sean Aguano. This is the coaching staff that's going to bring success to the team. I mean, Kenny's already a quarterback's coach, and you add in some really great minds, some really great personalities. The wide receiver room is perfectly coached. The DB room is perfectly coached. I think you're going to have a great defense this year in comparison to last year, especially in terms of scheme. And yeah, just top to bottom, as people, I love the staff, and we'll see if they can perform. But from what we've seen in practice, I have the utmost confidence that this team is going to be good. Somebody mentioned, I think it was LTC, somebody mentioned Israel Carter unbothered, and I just wanted to bring that up. That is very funny.
I forgot about Israel Carter. Where is Israel Carter now? He was in the pack, wasn't he? Or no?
I don't know if he ever committed anywhere.
Oh, I thought he committed to, I don't know. It sounds like a Florida school, maybe? Maybe I was totally...
USF is what he's going to commit, it looks like.
Oh, my goodness. Well, yeah, I think Arizona State lucked into the situation, obviously, that they're in. Or at least Arizona State fans
I think he did
lucked
USF,
into getting a guy in Kenny Dillingham that has such great experience with quarterbacks. And you look at what his quarterbacks are able to do with multiple years in a system, right? I think it just goes to show that when you're a quarterback and you play under Kenny Dillingham, you are going to get better as time goes on. And he said it in that article, right? By the time his quarterback is done with college football, they should know everything that Kenny knows about football.
About the game. Where do you think that Rashada is going to shine the most, and where do you think he's going to struggle the most year 1?
I think he is going to... Ooh, that's a good question. I think he is going to succeed the most just in the deep ball for this team in this offense. I don't think ASU fans have had the pleasure of seeing a real gunslinger at quarterback outside of Jayden Daniels.
Well, Jayden, it's interesting you bring that up because Jayden had a great deep ball, but no gunslinger. Like he was not. His balls were never thrown on a rope. He had an unbelievable like moon ball type deep ball, and Rashada has a really good lofted deep ball, but he also just throws the ball hard.
Yeah. No, I think that's where he's going to succeed, and I think that's where this offense gets a boost with him at quarterback more so than anybody else. I think where he might struggle a little bit is going to be the plays where he has to improvise, at least early on. I think improvising as a true freshman quarterback when you're just trying to get your feet underneath you a little bit is a little bit of a tough thing. But I think where you see real quarterbacks at this level make strides as a freshman is being smart with the football, right? You look at what Jayden Daniels did when he was a true freshman here in 2019, only 2 interceptions. That is a crazy number, not just for a freshman quarterback, but really any collegiate quarterback.
Yeah, I think it was pretty turnover lucky, though. Like, you saw the regression the next couple of years. But yeah, I mean, it was impressive. It's funny, Keck says he thinks he's going to shine when he's improvising and struggle when he's reading defenses. I don't know. He's had some struggles when he's improvised in practice. So I'd probably lean to agree with Totri on this. But I definitely think he can learn out of it. I think Kenny's going to put him in the situations where he doesn't have to improvise. It's just whether the offensive line wants to let him not improvise. Yeah, I mean, the deep ball is probably the easy answer. I think where he's going to shine is the shot plays, the highlight plays where he throws a ball at a rope 20 yards and it's a back shoulder touchdown. Like that's where he's going to shine. I think the struggling is I think he's going to think he can fit balls into windows where he previously could, and it is no longer an option. These guys are fast. These guys are strong, and they will deceive you in routes. He said Keck said he's probably going to struggle with reading defenses, and I agree 100%. And that's just something you learn. But that's why you throw him out week 1 of his true freshman year, is because you want him to learn as much as possible.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of a luxury that when you're playing these Pac-12 defenses, there's not a lot of good ones in the Pac-12, and you don't have to play the best one in Oregon State. Obviously, Utah presents some challenges, and there are a couple other defenses around the Pac that are definitely elevated from where they were last year. But I would say the majority of the defenses that Arizona State has to face, or the majority of the teams, aren't necessarily built on the backs of their defense.
Yeah, it's been fun to see Rashada too, kind of learn as practice has gone on. It's going to be really fun for the public to see him learn game in and game out. And yeah, some of those struggles will stink to watch, but it is what it is. And again, like, this is what we were saying about Jayden Daniels when he came in. We're like, okay, he's a true freshman starting. He's going to have some struggles, and he's going to throw some interceptions. He only threw 2 of them. So you might see something crazy that happens like that. I just think that Rashada is going to be put in so many more situations than Jayden Daniels was to, 1, succeed, but 2, just to throw the ball. And they're different quarterbacks. So as much as you can compare the two, because they're true freshmen, number 5, and they both were named Jayden, starting at the same Power 5 school and 4 years apart. It is fucking insane. They are much different players.
Yeah, they are. And I think people are going to lean into this. And I think a big part of it that we talked about early on in the show, right, is a big part of getting Arizona State on the map as a legit football program is getting support from people in Arizona, from the Arizona high schools to the kids to everybody in Tempe, to pretty much just acknowledging that when there's an Arizona State football game, that's the thing to do in Tempe that Thursday or that Saturday or whenever there's a game, right? And I think the added effect of starting a true freshman at quarterback with a first-year head coach is we might have something. The magic of the unknown that you have with this combination versus we have a first-year head coach and we've got a quarterback that did some really good things last season. But I think people saw last year what Trenton Bourguet was capable of and what he needed to work on, or what the offense lacked with Trenton Bourguet at quarterback.
Yeah, and you also have to think about what's so interesting is like this. The factors setting up this first home game to go well in terms of crowd attendance, this crowd better show out, because you have the first game of the Dillingham era.
Yeah,
football is back just in general. The weather is getting a little bit better. It's going to be at night, and now you have a true freshman starting at quarterback that is not just some Joe Schmo. He's Jaden Rashada, who is always going to be under a national spotlight after everything that's happened in his recruitment process. So this is going to be interesting, and I just hope the fans show up and show out.
And look, there were people pretty early on in the show talking about, Jaden Rashada starting, like he's going to transfer to the SEC at some point, or somebody made a comment about USC 2025. Like the reason I think that wouldn't happen is, look, he was in a situation that was all about NIL early on in his career, and he wound up at Arizona State. It wasn't by accident that he wound up at Arizona State, other than any of the other schools that wanted to go get him. Clearly, there's a connection with Kenny Dillingham. Oh, by the way, his dad went here. Oh, by the way, his brother goes here as well. Like, it is, the entire Rashada family is Arizona State, and I think getting everybody to support that, like the idea of that, right?
What did you say yesterday? This isn't your dad's ASU?
This isn't your dad's Arizona State football.
Though I hate that sentence. This isn't what it has been in the past. And plus he's kind of already transferred twice. He doesn't want to do it again.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to pick up and move again. So yeah, it's
fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. Josh in the chat, I'm changing my prediction to 6-6 because of this. Robert, show up ASU fans, no excuses. # activate the Valley.
There's
and Chris.
Of course, the one day Chris sleeps in. There's one comment that I want to bring up from Glenn earlier about his leadership. Jayden needs to learn to lead and speak up. Too soft-spoken / shy for my taste, but that comes with time. Yeah, it comes with time, and also we haven't seen him as the leader of this offense yet. We haven't seen him as quarterback one yet. We've seen him as a freshman that wants to learn from guys who are his elder, who have played in the games before, who are veterans in this. We haven't seen the Rashada where this is my team, and that could all change. So we'll wait to see. But yeah, I agree. I mean, but it just comes with his past too, of like, he just kind of wants to keep his head down and play ball. Jayden Daniels was like that, and a lot of people hated that. And we'll see. Rashada seems like he'll be able to kind of break out of that show.
Well, we spoke to him. We spoke to Jayden after the after Camp T.
Yeah.
And it felt like he had a good head on his shoulders.
Well, I mean, he definitely does, and Jayden Daniels did too,
Yeah.
but Jayden Daniels just wasn't that type of guy to go up and get in somebody's shit. I mean, when shit was really going wrong in 2021 with Jayden, and he threw an interception, he came off the field smiling.
Yeah.
We had troubles, and a lot of fans hated that. But that's just kind of the dude Jayden Daniels was.
Yeah.
We'll see what kind of the dude Jaden Rashada is, and as long as he's performing, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Before we get out of here, I do have 5 little points that I want to let everybody in on.
Okay.
You don't even know them yet, but before we even get to those, guys, Illegal Pete's.
5 points.
Okay, five little fun points for you, guys. Illegal Pete's, the Tempe location, the Tucson location, all of it. They've all got some phenomenal drinks and some phenomenal food. You mentioned the weather. Sometimes it is getting a little cooler, but for the majority of it, it is still pretty damn hot outside. Why don't you go check out Illegal Pete's? Maybe cool off with a nice brew or maybe a mar. Get yourself some tacos. It is Taco Tuesday. Illegal Pete's, your go-to spot this summer. Stop by for happy hour, 3 p.m. through 8 p.m. every day at all 12 locations. Guys, Illegal Pete's, the go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer for 28 years.
We love some Illegal Pete's.
We do. Shout out to Illegal Pete's for feeding us yesterday.
Yeah. Foco doesn't feed us, but they sauce us some great merch and some great hats and some great everything. Foco is the leading manufacturer for sports and entertainment merchandise with a product line that includes apparel, accessory, toys, collectibles, novelty items, and more. Basically, if it's in our studio, it comes from Foco. They got all of the officially licensed gear for all sports and fandoms. And, football season's approaching. Go get you some fun stuff at Foco to rock at your tailgates or whatnot. Excited to see all of you guys out there. Maybe we'll see you in some Foco gear. Foco always has our back for Arizona sports, and they have yours too. Get the best gear around by visiting www.foco.com and using code PHNX for all non-presale items. Use that promo code PHNX. Again, that's FOCO.com.
All right, so I got something for you.
You got something for me?
The Baltimore Ravens lost last night.
Yes.
And I know it hurt you a little bit because of Johnny Venerable specifically. But it's been a long time since the Baltimore Ravens lost. Okay, so before this news broke and we got everything confirmed and what we needed to do.
6 years ago today?
This was
happening?
What? Longer than that. 8 years ago was the last time the Baltimore Ravens lost. 2015, September 3rd, 2015.
Oh, because of canceled games and
yes.
stuff?
So I was going through and I was like, let's get 10 things that happened.
10 things?
10 things for, let's think. 10 things for Arizona State that were happening in 2015, right? The last time the Baltimore Ravens lost. But ironically enough, I had only gotten to 5. Jaden Rashada's number when the news broke. So I've got 5 Arizona State things that happened the last time the Baltimore Ravens lost, okay?
Okay.
In honor of the news, Jaden Rashada was getting ready to start the 6th grade.
Yummy.
The last time when the Baltimore Ravens last lost. Kenny Dillingham was 25 years old. He was our age.
He was your age.
He was my age. Sorry, Grandpa. Bobby Hurley was entering year 1 at ASU.
That's crazy.
There's 2 more. Manny Wilkins was a redshirt freshman at ASU.
Behind?
Burko.
Nice.
And Willie Bloomquist was in his final season for the Seattle Mariners.
Mariners legend.
There you go. Guys, Jaden Rashada is your starting quarterback week 1, Arizona State against Southern Utah. We appreciate everybody hopping in the chat today or listening wherever you get your podcast. Before you go, leave a like. There was 80 plus in here earlier today and only 20 something likes. So just smash that like button before you leave. Also hit that subscribe button too. And those little notifications for anytime we go live, guys. If you enjoyed the content, give us a follow at PHNX Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow Big Pokey over here at Shane Deef.
Having a quarterback named Jaden that wears number 5 and is at a Power 5 school starting as a true freshman as always.
There you go. We'll be right back here Wednesday at 2 p.m. But for now, peace.